Boom, shakalaka boom. You've tuned in to the free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts right now. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I am Clay Edwards, and I am live here on the 50,000 megawatt flamethrower, 1039 WYAB. Of course, we're streaming worldwide and live at our good friends, the Mazda of Jackson live stream, pumping all across the airwaves on the interwebs in stunning HD. I look great in HD, 4K, should I say, don't I? I look every bit of 48 years old this morning. You can find the live stream over at Save JXN. The word, Save JXN, one word, on YouTube, X, and, of course, Facebook. And then we're over on a couple alt-tech platforms such as Rumble and Twitch. And just type in Clay Edwards Show over there. And you can join into the live chat. I see it's already starting to fill up this morning. It's always rather lively in there. A lot of folks, a lot of good folks, a lot of not so good folks going back and forth for a couple hours every Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. right here on the airwaves and on the internet. It's what we like to call an FAFO Friday here on the Clay Edwards Show. Fool around, find out. Or if you have other colorful language, you can use that. I can't on the radio, but you know what it means. You know what it means. Hope everybody's having a good day. I want to thank Blake Bartlam, the young 17-year-old that filled in for me yesterday. I got lots of great reviews about young Blake. When I was up there in Neshoba County, a lot of people had listened to the Clay Edwards Show on their way up there and stopped me and said, man, the kid that filled in for you was really good. I was surprised, especially when I found out his age. I said, yeah, man, I wish I had had my head screwed on that tight when I was 17. There's no telling where I'd be now. I'd probably be president. I'm kidding. But who knows? I wouldn't be doing this right now. Well, who knows? Maybe I would be doing it a lot sooner. Maybe I would be retired by now if I had my head screwed on that tight then. But either way, I got to listen to most all the show. I appreciate Blake filling in. Maybe you'll start hearing a little bit more of him when I got to take off here and there. But great. I had a good time up in Neshoba yesterday. It was very muddy. Very, very muddy. But it was still a good time. And luckily for me, I am powered by the testosterone replacement therapy out there at Live Better, Men's Health and Wellness. So I was able to just power right through it, just wheel right through all the mud and the chaos and everything. And we had a great time. Again, very muddy. I want to thank the mayor of Oxford and her husband for hosting us and feeding us yesterday. Great food up there at their cabin, as it is every year. I appreciate that. It was always good getting to see them. Ran into a bunch of people that we know and people that we talk about, some good, some bad, yesterday. I tell you, if you do this for a living and you tell the truth about situations as they come and as they go, you better be ready to potentially have to run into them people if you're going to be a social person, which I am, and I do, and I don't care. It's I will stand there, and if you don't like something I've said about you, you are welcome to say something to me about it. And if not, we can have a beer together and understand that there's a 5 o'clock to every day. And that's what we did yesterday. Saw Jason White. I've been very hard on Jason, Speaker of the House, about the school choice stuff. But I like Jason overall. Again, I can compartmentalize the man versus the policy. And I think that's how we should be. We should be able to iron out our differences, or vet out our differences, should I say. And it's okay to disagree. School choice is something, or not doing school choice, should I say, is something that's very important to me and a lot of my so-called constituents, which is my radio listeners. Based on what you guys say about it, you didn't like it either. So I've always kind of looked at myself as the voice of the voiceless. And when you guys feel a certain way, and I feel that same way, well, we're going to talk about it. But anyway, respect to Jason for sitting there having a conversation and being respectful. We don't bring up business when you're out there having a good time. So it's nice to know that you can still do that with folks. It really is. Well, let's see here. Oh, yeah, speaking of those testosterone, free testosterone screenings, y'all get out there y'all text Clay to 601-633-9017, 601-633-9017, and get you an appointment today for a free testosterone screening and get your life back, men. Get the life in your bedroom back. So much, man. You may be suffering from ED, and it's because of low testosterone. You might not even need the blue pill. Probably not. The testosterone, get that thing working. Get that vibe back. I like that, the vibe back. Hi, if you guys want to text the show, the Ellis Autoplex text line is 769-241-1944. 769-241-1944. That is the Ellis Autoplex text line. Let's see a couple chats here this morning. Angel says, what happening with the Walmart situation? No update as of right now. I don't think you're going to get an update. I assume you're talking about the Senatobia shooting. Yeah, no update, Angel. Oh, I recognize that name, Angel. You're the sweet lady that sent me that message from Texas, I think. Yeah, thank you for that message. I mean, that really meant a lot to me, that voice memo. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, as of right now, I don't think there is anything. They're still doing their investigation. And when the investigation is done by MBI, they're going to turn it over to the grand jury and the DA up there in Tate County? And we'll find out. I don't think they're going to see the video. I don't think that we'll see the video until it goes to trial and some charges are pressed and all that stuff. At least all the legal experts that I've talked to do not anticipate us seeing that video. So that's just my 2 cents on that. It's a tragic situation. I did talk to a lot of law enforcement yesterday, from local to state to federal, who are all fans of the show. And obviously that topic came up. And look, I heard one guy, I think he's federal. He was with another federal agent that I met, a U.S. Marshal. So I'm assuming they both work for the federal government. He said that he heard it wasn't looking too good for the officer. And then I've heard directly from people involved in the investigation who plainly say that it was a clean shot and the officer shouldn't have anything to worry about on a, professional, on a, what am I trying to say, a criminal level. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm glad that's not my job to decipher that, because even if the body cam shows one thing, what the human eyes see is completely different. So it's a tragic deal. And it makes it even worse when it gets politicized or turned into a racial deal. And then it pits everybody against each other because it's the same old, same old. And we had everybody screams about racism and black lives and black babies and all this stuff. And meanwhile, yesterday in Jackson, Mississippi, there were 2 murders before 2:00. All black on black. Well, presumably black on black. Because God knows if it wasn't and one of the killers were white and killed a black guy, we would know about it by now. So 2 murders before 2:00, before I got back from Neshoba County, there were 2 dead black folks. One of them really sad. Well, look, they're all sad, right? But one of them, I thought I saved the link here. Give me 1 second. I want to pull it up. One of them was a 19-year-old kid, had just graduated Forest Hill, got killed over off Woody Drive. I mean, that was his first mistake right there, being over off Woody Drive. I don't know if he lived there. I guess probably lived over that way if he went to Forest Hill. But the second murder of the day was over there off Woody Drive. Here it is here. And where's the mother in this, by the way? Because the quote on the headline here on WLBT is, "That was my grandchild. 19-year-old shot and killed in South Jackson." So I'm just curious if they got, if they talked to they talk. I want to play this because they got the grandmother on here and they got his pictures and stuff. And, this kid was working at the Coke plant. So he had a job already. And he was getting ready to go work in the oil fields out in West Texas in September. Now, you don't hear about a lot of black kids from Jackson going to work in the oil fields in Texas. That tells me this kid had his head screwed on pretty damn tight. If he was already working at 19 and was getting ready to go work in the oil fields, that's good money. B, if you start young, you can make a lot of money and get on out of there after, 20 years, get in, get out, get retired, and go do something else and draw that retirement. I mean, this kid was on the way to a pretty dang good life if he could avoid the culture rot of Jackson, Mississippi. But my point is, we're supposed to get all wound up and, and bite into the racism apple because a cop, no matter what you think, that baby accidentally got shot. I mean, that cop did not purposely kill that baby. Period, point blank, 100%. No doubt about it. Even if he saw the baby in the car and he took a bad shot trying to shoot the driver, he did not intend to shoot the baby. And I don't even think that's what happened. But even in worst case scenario, he saw the baby and still thought that he needed to shoot the driver, but he accidentally shot the baby. Okay. But he did not intentionally shoot the baby. But somehow we're all supposed to say it's racism and they're out hunting black people and hunting black babies. And damn it, that just ain't the case. But meanwhile, black men are out here killing black men at a genocidal level. So let's play this. But we're not supposed to talk about that. I'm a racist for bringing that up. This is from WLBT.
First brought you at 4, a violent day in the city of Jackson as JPD investigates 2 separate killings. The first deadly shooting happened this morning on Broadmoor Drive in North Jackson. The most recent deadly shooting was this afternoon on Woody Drive in South Jackson. Now, the victim there just had graduated high school. Family members identify him as 19-year-old Javion Clinton. Now, police are asking for your help to find who's responsible for the killing. Our Quentin Smith speaks exclusively with the victim's family and joins us in the studio. Quentin, what are they saying tonight?
Well, Courtney, and family members tell us 19-year-old Javion Clinton was arguing with someone just moments before that shooting happened. They remember Clinton as being funny, smart, and loving. Tonight, family members are devastated and desperate for answers, and they're pleading for anyone with information on this killing to come forward.
That was my grandchild. I'm hurt. Now I got to be in here by myself.
Now, where's the mama at? Or where's the daddy at? That is my big question here. I mean, kudos to this lady for raising a good kid that was already graduating high school, already working, and getting ready to head out to West Texas to work in the Permian Basin in the oil fields. I think I'm saying that right. I watched some Land Man, Permian Basin. I learned something on that episode. This is tragic. South Jackson is a hellhole. Let me let her finish. I'm sorry.
Miss it.
For Deborah Kinsey, this is a nightmare. Just hours ago, she dropped her grandson, 19-year-old Javion Clinton, off at work, not knowing it would be her last time seeing him. This text shows the last conversation the two had with one another. After dropping Clinton off, he went back home, realizing his shift did not start until later in the day. Not long after making it back home, Clinton, who recently graduated from Forest Hill High School, was shot and killed at this abandoned home on Woody Drive. It's a few houses down from where he lives. When police arrived on scene, Clinton was found in the woods with multiple gunshot wounds. Kinsey says a witness told her what might have led up to the fatal shooting.
And the lady just told me that she seen him walking with another guy, the guy with the book bag or whatever, and said she heard him organ behind the house, and the next thing you know, you hear the gunshot, but he dead. He dead, y'all. He dead, and I can't believe it.
Neighbors we spoke with say they're also shaken up behind this tragedy. They say it's alarming knowing something like this happened so close to their home.
We hear all the time outside celebrating as a family, and it's scary that we have to duck and hide when gunshots out on a family function, a barbecue or something. And to know something like this happened, it's scary. It's scary, but we hear shootings all the time, gunshots all the time.
Now, police believe more than one person was involved in Clinton's death. And again, if you have any information on this killing, you're asked to contact Jackson Police or Crime Stoppers. And remember, you can report anonymously.
Again, absolutely senseless. The guy dropped off at work, comes back home, and the first red flag is when she said, saw him walking with a guy with a backpack. First off, it's summertime. Why are you walking with a backpack down the street? Don't get me wrong. I use a backpack as a briefcase, but I go from my truck to inside. From inside back to my truck. They got guns and drugs in the backpacks. Bring back stop and frisk. Can we please bring back stop and frisk? But another young black life taken by some culture rot thugs. Probably got tarantula hair. Looking like tarantula legs sticking out. I was listening to Jason Whitlock the other day, and he had a black preacher on there, and he got to talking about how this is all, what is happening to a certain demographic of the black community is all a generational curse that was put on them. And he told it from a biblical standpoint. And he talked about how all these little young black men, young black boys look like witch doctors now. And bro, I stopped dead in my tracks in my kitchen. I remember specifically what I was doing. And he said, all these young black boys all look the same. I said, yeah, keep talking. Yeah, you got my attention. He talked about the tarantula hair. I was like, yeah, yep. They do. And then he said, they all look like witch doctors with the tattoos on their face and all of them skinny as a bean pole. I was like, damn, they do look like witch doctors. That's it. Little voodoo witch doctors. They all look the same. He said it's a curse. I'll find it and drop I ain't going to play the whole thing on the show here, but I'll find it and drop it in. And man, it's an evil spirit that is cast over places like South Jackson. Now, obviously, we ain't talking about all young black boys here. We're not. But there's a demographic within the black community that does stuff like what happened in South Jackson yesterday. Y'all all know what we're talking about. You know, the more you pretend that it ain't real, the dumber you look, not me. And it ain't racist pointing it out. It's realist. It's facts. There's an epidemic of death inside the urban black community. And it ain't just urban, it's suburban too and out in the rural areas, but it's the urban mentality. It's the hip hop, 40 years of rap music later mentality. Speaking of that, we got to take a break. I believe the order. I believe the order has come down from whomever. Rap music's over. It's a wrap for rap music. The CIA attack on rock music is over too. Rock is back. Rap is dead. Book it. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back. 103.9 WYAB. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here on 103.9 WYAB, streaming worldwide. There on the Mazda Jackson live stream. You can find us at SaveJXN. Jump in the comments. They are very lively after that last segment. I can assure you a bunch of the typical reaction of people not being used to hearing the truth be spoke. People are so allergic to the truth that the minute you speak it, you're racist much? No, not at all. Not at all. I actually care. I care enough that I speak out about it. And because one particular group of people have been lied to and coddled for so long that criticism, constructive criticism, is confused with racism. Because how dareth anybody that looks a shade or two different than you be critical of you when we have to share all these public spaces and everything together. You don't get to hide behind the shield of blackness or the shield of whiteness or brownness or gayness or trans, or whatever you call that, transist, or anything else. when we have to share spaces together, whether it's schools, churches, restaurants, retail, intersections, the roads, you name it, gas stations in particular, and you all want to act a certain way, we get to criticize it. We get to talk about it. We don't just have to sit back and say, no, they're black, I can't say nothing. We're done with that. Everybody's done with that. 100%. That's what I know y'all remember the whole thing from last year. The fatigues. We've all got it. We're done pretending we don't. Y'all know it's true. We know it's true. Everybody knows it's true. We're done with it. Period. End the discussion. Again, we're going to quit calling criticism racism. Well, I quit years ago. But I'm going to lead the charge on this. We're done with it. It ain't hate speech. It's just not. I just dropped the link in the live stream here of the Jason Whitlock show where he had the black preacher on. I'm just quoting the black preacher here, who said that a lot of these young black boys now look like voodoo witch doctors. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Look at Lil Wayne. I mean, he's a more extreme example. But if you can look at Lil Wayne and not think you see a voodoo witch doctor, I mean, the only thing he's missing is some bones through his ears and some bone necklaces and a vest made out of little bones. But other than that, he's absolutely a little voodoo witch doctor, even from New Orleans, from the boot. He'll be at the Brandon Amphitheater here in a few weeks. Sold out. People are going to have their satanic service out there with a witch doctor. I'm kidding about that. I'm kidding. I've been to plenty of Lil Wayne concerts. I used to be on a nightclub with his manager, Cortez Bryant. So I've had my fair share of Lil Wayne. But he does look like a witch doctor. And you're stupid if you disagree. Hey, if you're looking for something to do tonight, or this weekend in general, get out to Cypress Point Resort. They have always got it going on. Their weekend food specials, you know, they've always got something so good. They got a chef and all that. They got a steakhouse out there, you know. But the special appetizer of the weekend is tuna nachos or rice paper wrapped shrimp. All that stuff sounds so good, but I have no clue what it is. Rice paper wrapped shrimp. That sounds great. I mean, is that like a butcher paper? Is that what that is? Anything you get that's wrapped in butcher paper is usually pretty dang good. That's just the appetizer. And the entree is yellowtail snapper Rockefeller. Broiled yellowtail snapper topped with creamed spinach, bacon, and Parmesan, served with a roasted garlic mashed potato. Gosh dang. I don't even really like fish, but that sounds phenomenal. The dessert is blueberry pineapple crumble cake. See all y'all out there talking about pineapple pound cake or lemon pepper pound cake or lemon pound cake or whatever all that stuff is that hip hop is telling y'all is cool right now. Y'all gonna have all that. I want the blueberry pineapple crumble cake at Cypress Point Resort this weekend. Y'all get out there, enjoy that. Of course, they got live music out on the big stage at Cameron's Garage, full bands. They got the acoustic acts inside the tavern by the steakhouse. They got the Sunday buffet. Good times rolling out there at Cypress Point Resort and the biggest open-air sports bar in the state of Mississippi at Cameron's Garage. You can find them online, cypresspointms.com. That's cypresspointms.com. All right, let's jump in the comments here because I'm sure they're pleasant this morning. I want to check one thing here. I set something up the other day, and I want to see how it looks when I actually put it in use here. What happens? Yeah. Hey, if y'all want to buy a shirt, scan the screen now. If you want to go to my merch shop, Get an FAFO shirt. If you like the words that are falling out of my mouth this morning, support your boy. Go by the merch shop, grab a shirt. You can scan the QR code right there on the screen right now. It'll take you to the merch shop and load up. A couple of the other designs include the blackout tag version, and the newest is the FAFO 316 version, similar to the Austin 316 shirts that Stone Cold Steve Austin made so famous back in the 1990s. All right. Okay, I don't want to leave that on the screen the whole time. Let's go to the live chat and read all the very nice things I'm sure people have been writing about me. I got to make one quick edit here so we can read the dang things when I pull them up on the screen. All right, there we go. All right, this person here, JT Drum Shop, says, racist much? Wow, this is your dark side. Step away from it and learn why youth rebel and try to stand out. Learn where and why rap was and is a resource and a popular genre. Well, first off, I am 48 years old. I've been listening to rap since gangster rap since I was 14 years old at least. When NWA's F-Fly Zaggin' album came out, I believe, Eazy-E, that era is when I really started listening to gangster rap, right before I got my driver's license, back in 1990, 91, somewhere in there. So I've been listening to rap. I'm well aware of rap and the cultural significance of rap and all that good stuff. Unfortunately, it has outlived its usefulness because now it is only about money, drugs, loose women, rinse, repeat, money, drugs, loose women, popping bottles, materialistic things, murder. And now it's not even talented people doing it. I mean, I used to love rap. Loved it. I mean, it's all I listened to for when hair metal died down and grunge took over. I didn't listen to grunge. I did listen to some country, but I had rather eclectic taste, but I shifted all into rap. And that's what I did for 20 plus years, was on nightclubs and promote rap music and all of that stuff. And I'm telling you from somebody who's been inside the belly of the beast and profited off the culture rot for a long time. One, I regret it. And two, I've synced it with my own eyes. The dangers that music can have on you. Now, will I go out and join any protests? No. But I can sit here and tell you my honest opinion. Or, I don't think it's really an opinion. I think when you start listening to crap like that at a young age, it rots your brain. And think about it. Like a lot of these it happens in the white community too, just not at the same clip. But, you have these young single black mothers, young being the key word there, single being the key word. They grow up around, they have these kids, the father's not around. And you see these videos online all the time, so don't tell me this don't happen. They're listening to rap music all the time. They think it's cute to teach their kid to do little rap lyrics or to twerk or do any of this over-sexualization and repeat these violent lyrics. And then, that kid's getting it at 1, 2, 3 years old and onward. And you don't think that's got a negative influence on that child's life as it's coming up? You need a mental exam if you don't believe that. I mean, hell, I didn't have that culture rot start attacking my brain till I was 14, 15. And it did a number on me. I mean, it had me in my mid-30s before I came out of the fog and became an official working adult. Now, don't get me wrong, my growth was stunted because of running a very successful nightclub career for 12 years. So money wasn't an issue per se. I wasn't a millionaire by no means, but my bills were paid and I made more money than most friends that went off and did college. So it wasn't like I didn't have money, and I guess that's what we base success on, right? But I wasn't building a future. Unfortunately, I found that out the hard way when I woke up dead broke, living on my parents' couch at 34 years old. without anything to my name. You know, and it was at that point I was like, all right, maybe it's time to look in the mirror here. Accept some accountability. And I know that's a big, dirty word. I know it's got more than four letters, but I know accountability in hip-hop culture is a dirty word, especially in urban black culture. You know, no accountability. Got to blame. Surely this is somebody else's fault that I've ended up like this. There must be somebody to blame. When I'm white, I can't blame racism? Damn it. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. This is the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB. When we come back, and in the second hour, we are going to talk about Trump getting that big win at SCOTUS. I know that's the title of the show. When we come back, we're going to talk about this very culture right thing right here, but we're going to talk about some white folks. Some might call it white trash that have been ate up with the culture rot right here in Jackson, Mississippi. If you follow me online, maybe you saw my video or my post yesterday where we talked about the Simon City Royals being our effed around and found out grand champions. Well, if you missed it, we're about to repeat it and run it back. This is the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here on 103.9 WYAB. This segment brought to you by the fried catfish blue plate special today at McBee's. It's fried chicken at Martin's. We'll talk about that in a little bit. It's the fried catfish, the Mississippi farm raised catfish right there on Lake Harbor Drive. McBee's in Ridgeland. Buzzing a Riz since 1982. It's one of the last great dive bars of the Gen X generation. The greatest generation, in my opinion. At least the greatest that's been born since I was born in 77. Damn you millennials and younger. Man, Gen X, we run it. Who run it? We run it. It's our turn. Boomers refuse to step off the stage, so we just decided to build our own stage. I think that's one of the more real statements I've ever made, to be honest with you. But all that aside, Boomers, Gen X, Gen Z, Gen Y, Gen I, Gen Me, get your bouteilles to McBee's today and enjoy some fried catfish. Hand-battered, Mississippi farm-raised, as good as it gets. You got a wide assortment of sides to choose from. Or, hey, if that ain't your jam, the other blue plate specials that you can substitute are hand-battered country fried steak, hamburger steak with gravy, or grilled chicken breast. They got about 9 or 10 different sides you can choose from daily. And if none of that sounds great, you can always get a burger, one of the best in the state, if not the best, hand-battered onion rings, hand-cut French fries, or try the wings. They got a bunch of different flavors. My personal favorite's the mango habanero. And their ranch, this is oh so important, the ranch dressing, homemade. Need I say more? McBee's Bar and Grill, Lake Harbor Drive, Buzzin' Riz since 1982, right there in Ridgeland, with a new location opening soon at Lake Caroline. That's right, Lake Caroline. Man, I might finally move to Madison County. All right, shout out to Michael and his team, everybody over there at McBee's. Let's see here. We got about 3 minutes before our next break here because I ran over those last two. Let's dang it, let's just jump into it real quick. Simon City Royals. At least one of these guys, and I'm looking at them, I'm going to say more than one. But at least one of these guys definitely a SCR, according to WLBT. Let's see, did I save my link properly? I did. So, I'll be honest with y'all. I kept seeing notifications on my phone from WLBT about the impound break-in, the City of Jackson impound lot break-ins. I didn't click on it, and I know everybody gives me hell. It's like, Clay, you only talk about black people. You only talk about black people. Man, I promise I do not intentionally skip over white people behaving badly. And I kind of stumbled into this. I was sitting at my desk yesterday, and maybe they shared it on their Facebook or something, and it said 4th arrest made in connection with impound lot burglary, and it was a picture of a white guy I was like, a white guy doing some foolishness in Jackson? Let me read the details. And that I did. It says a fourth person has been arrested in connection with the break-in at the Jackson City impound lot. On Wednesday, James Brandon Yelverton of Terry appeared in a Jackson municipal court where Judge Jeffrey Reynolds gave him a $500,000 bond. That seems awfully high for a lot break-in, doesn't it? Well, keep listening. Yelverton is charged with burglary of a business or commercial dwelling. According to information revealed in court, the defendant has served time in prison for shooting into an occupied dwelling. He is also allegedly a member of the Simon City Royal Gang. He was arrested with help of two SWAT teams. I missed that yesterday when I read this. Not one SWAT team, but two SWAT teams. Damn, I mean, if you're going to go down, blaze of glory, have some John Bon Jovi Young Guns soundtrack playing in the background. Shot down in a blaze of glory. On Tuesday, well, it says Yelverton is currently being held at the Hinds County Detention Center in Raymond, which I'm sure he is getting along just well out there. On Tuesday, police announced 3 others have been arrested in connection with the same break-in. The others charged, if you're looking on the live stream screen from left to right, the bald-headed guy that looks 150 years old, that is a 47-year-old Marshall Fox. The fine-looking fella there in the middle with tattoos all over his neck and face is Gary Burnside. He's 40 years old. And the white guy that looks like Bob Marley in the next to the end there with the long hair is 25-year-old Jonathan Brooks. In January, Yelverton was arrested by Capitol Police and charged with felony fleeing after failing to pull over for an officer. And this is why Jackson's a hellhole, by the way. He was released on his own recognizance on January 21st, according to court records. And also, I read somewhere else yesterday that the grand jury chose not to pursue charges. So this guy just ran from the cops, gets thrown in jail. They OR him. He don't even have to bond out. And here he is. When was that? When was that last one? Back in January. So 6 months later, almost to the day, damn near to the day, he's being arrested for breaking in the city impound lot when he should have been in impound himself still. Jackson gonna Jackson. But shout out to the Judge Reynolds. I don't know much about this guy, but slapping a $500,000 bond on this piece of trash ought to keep him and the rest of them, out of the community for the foreseeable future. Let's take a break. We'll be right back here on the Clay Edwards Show for our last break of the hour, last segment of the hour. When we go to our next break, the 7-minute break at the top of the hour, I'm going to stay with y'all. I'm not going to make y'all suffer through 7 minutes without my lovely voice and beautiful face here, because I know y'all love it and y'all love me, and I love y'all. Y'all don't go nowhere. I'll be right back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. Let that last segment there be the real bellwether segment for you guys. If there's one thing I hate, it's white trash. I don't know any other way to say it. And Simon City Royals have been a thorn in my side and a nuisance to this area for as long as I can remember. As long as I can remember. They're no different than the black gangs running through Jackson. It's fatherlessness. Frankly, it's parentlessness, for the most part. It's parents who are addicted to drugs, and their kids have ended up addicted to drugs. It's prostitution. It's burglary. It's all the bad stuff in the Bible, in culture, right? I haven't liked them going back to before my nightclub days. They were a nuisance when I had nightclubs, and they continue to be a nuisance. And they're basically born and raised in the city of Richland and have escaped. We'll be back. Say, I ran out of time there. If y'all wonder why I look, there's a clock on the wall with the second hand on it. And I have a certain second that I have to be done talking by. It's the 40 second, 59 minutes and 40 seconds we have what we call a hard break in radio, where it goes to break no matter what I'm saying or doing. So I have to hit that number. And I can't see good enough to see the little clock on the computer. It's all blurry down there. It's so small. I need to get some readers. I've been staring at the computer for too long. So if you wonder what I'm doing, I'm constantly looking up. It's the clock is over on the other side. I guess it'd be over here. Off screen, of course. But anyway, just so y'all know. What I was trying to say was Simon City Royals have been a thorn in people's side for the last 25 years in central Mississippi. To the best of my knowledge, Richland has always kind of been home base to the Simon City Royals, little white gang. I think my memory serves me correct. The gang formed up in Chicago. I think that's where the Simon City comes from. And some people from up there kind of moved down here. Like, I ain't trying to start no fucking turf war here with the Simon City Royals. Y'all leave me alone, I'll leave y'all alone. But I think you're trash. You were a net negative on society. I don't know anybody that thinks it's a good thing unless you're a part of it. You know, I know there's a bunch of little young. Somebody brought it to my attention this morning that there's a bunch of little, girls all up in my comments on my video or my post talking about them. You know, they ain't affiliated. Da, 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 da. Well, you know what? Snitch yourself out telling us that you know who's affiliated and who's not. You know, I could go on and on and on about that gang and the kind of women that hang out with that gang and how they get passed around like a blunt at a party. But I won't because, well, I'm almost 50 years old now, but don't think I haven't seen it. Don't think I'm not aware of it. Don't think that other people aren't aware of it. You know, you ever see a little white guy walking down Highway 49 looking like Lil Wayne, looking like a witch doctor? He's probably a Simon City Royal wearing some FUBU. And yes, I said FUBU, and I know it hadn't been culturally relevant in 20 years, but this is a white gang that thinks they're black we're talking about here. So cultural relevance isn't necessarily relevant to this conversation. Let's see here. I'm just kind of checking out some of y'all's comments here. To expect some damn accountability. You know, that's why, you know, you see, like, I hate to say it so bluntly, but you see majority white communities, conservative communities, we throw our problems in jail, and we don't hesitate to shame them to no end. Boom goes La Dynamite. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the RADIO. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards, coming at you live here on the 50,000 megawatt flamethrower. We call it 1039 WYAB. We're streaming worldwide on the Mazda of Jackson live stream at Save JXN on YouTube, X, Facebook, and over at Clay Edwards Show on Rumble and Twitch. We're powered by the free testosterone screenings from Live Better Men's Health and Wellness right out there in Gluckstadt, Mississippi. Schedule your appointment today with Scott McCullough. And all you got to do that is it's simple. It's text my name, CLAY, Clay, to 601-633-9017. 601-633-9017. Text Clay. This segment is brought to you by our friends over at Ellis Autoplex. If you're out car shopping this weekend, looking for a late model, pre-owned, 4-door, 4-wheel drive pickup, man, look no further than Ellis Autoplex. They've got a wide range of options to choose from half-ton to 3/4 ton, from base model to fully loaded platinum trim levels, F-150s, GMCs, Chevrolets, Rams, Toyotas. If you can dream it, they probably already got it. If not, they can get it. I know they got a Land Cruiser. One of those new ladies, gentlemen, they got one of those new black Toyota Land Cruisers right now available. So check that out if you're in the market for a new body style Land Cruiser. I saw Casey driving that the other day. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, don't forget, they buy vehicles. Don't deal with these crazy people on Craigslist and Marketplace harassing you, trying to get you to meet them at a gas station or a truck stop or, God forbid, coming to your house. You don't want that. You don't want that. Just go sell your vehicle to Casey. He's going to make you a fair market value offer, give you a local check today, not a counterfeit check like one of these thugs. You're going to be able to go to a local bank, cash said check, and everybody's a winner. He gets a vehicle to clean up and sell. You get the cash without having to deal with the headache. The car still got to pay off? No problem. They can arrange paying the car off too. Check them out online, ellisautoplex.com, or in person, Highway 471, Brandon, Mississippi. While you're in Brandon, don't hesitate to swing by 042 Wine and Spirits, locally owned, locally operated, an award-winning wine and spirit store, liquor store, as we like to call them, located right there on Highway 80, right next to Sonny's Barbecue. If you're remotely familiar with Rankin County, you know where the Sonny's Barbecue is. It's right next door to it. You could literally park in the Sonny's parking lot and walk next door if you had to. You don't have to. They got plenty of parking. I'm just making a point of how close it is. Next door means next door. Words matter. Man, look, they got over 400 different wines to choose from, up to 200 different bourbons and whiskeys, 50 different vodkas, tequilas, etc. And they have all the small batch stuff. They have the easy to find stuff, the hard to find stuff. They got the inventory when others are still struggling to get back to full inventory post ABC debacle when it comes to the delivery stuff. 042 Wine and Spirits. You may run into me there this weekend. I would definitely be stopping by to get me some moonshine and some Fireball. All right. I see the Mazda Jackson live stream flipping over rapidly this morning. We've got a big audience over there. Shout out to everybody. We stayed live during the break there, and I kind of gave my real honest opinion on the Simon City Royals and just the white thuggery and how I just despise it. And, you know, I made the point that, and I think this is a great example of how conservative, I'm just going to say it, predominantly white conservative communities handle their trash versus how predominantly black Democrat communities like Jackson handle their trash. They moved it to Jackson. They knew where to go relocate their butts into Jackson. B, when they choose not to, and they try to stay in Pearl, Richland, Brandon, Rankin County as a whole, Robin Hood, they don't stay long. They end up out there in Brian Bailey's Hilton Hotel. 5-star establishment, by the way. And that is the Rankin County Jail for those who aren't familiar with who Brian Bailey is. Sheriff McMillan, back in the day, who ruled Hinds County with an iron fist, used to refer to the Raymond Jail as the Raymond Hilton. As I was coming up back in the 90s, the last thing you wanted to do was have to go spend the weekend an all-expense-paid vacation in the Raymond Hilton. And I did have my share of one-nighters and one weekender at the Raymond Hilton, and I haven't been back to a jail since. As a matter of fact, that's the only jail I've ever been in. Well, I got arrested in Jackson, but Jackson didn't have a jail. They kind of have that holding jail down there. And they would take you out to Raymond. They'd process you in Jackson. They would take you out to Raymond. Oh, what a nightmare. If you ever got arrested in Jackson, I don't know about Rankin County, but if you get arrested in Jackson, at least up to 2007, I think, the last time I got arrested, your day was ruined. Whether you were bonding out or not, it was at least a 7-hour ordeal from the time they put the cuffs on you to the time you walked out of the jail a free person. The process was so asinine. The bondsman would have to come from Jackson, go to Raymond, get something signed, come back to Jackson, then come back to get you. Does a fax machine not exist in 2007? We can't email this? They made it so much more difficult than it had to be. I don't know what the turnaround to get out of Rankin County or Madison County was or is, but to get out of Raymond took forever. Ever. But my point being, we arrest our trash and we penalize our trash in conservative communities. Do we have trash? Yes. Do we have crime? Absolutely. But it's how you enforce the law. It's how you sentence the criminals. I don't understand why this is such a complicated thing to understand. I really don't. And, people get so mad when I talk about culture rot and, trying to understand what culture is. Culture is what all places desire to have a good culture. Every sports program, you hear that all the time, right? When they hire a new coach, a new general manager, a new athletic director, whatever it is, college, pros, the number one thing you hear them talk about is we want to change the culture. We want to have a good culture, a winning culture, a culture of whatever their ism is, whatever their positive thing is, their win the day slogan is. A culture of never quitting. Well, in Rankin County, we have a culture of FAFO. It is the FAFO capital per capita of Mississippi. Now, there are some other FAFO folks around here. My buddy Big Hoss, the sheriff down there in Lawrence County. That's an F around and find out guy if I've ever met one. My buddy Shane Phelps, sheriff up there in Panola County, FAFO. Randy Tucker, Madison County, FAFO. I know a lot of y'all don't like Brian Bailey, but I don't think there's any arguing that Brian Bailey is textbook FAFO. And then I can start hitting up local police chiefs. I'm just not going. I don't want to leave anybody out. So, we take out our trash. We police ourselves. See, as white folks, so I had some black guy randomly message me last night. And he was talking about Charlie Kirk. And it's one of the most disgusting things that I've been sent in a while. And that's saying something. I wasn't even going to talk about this, but I'm just kind of rambling right now. So I am going to talk about it. He sent me this message. And he says, you never know where it's going to come from. And this guy's been sending me threats for a while. He says, you never know where it's going to come from. So I click on this. It says something about Charlie Kirk. I was kind of curious. And it says, Charlie Kirk spent his entire life talking down on black people just to get popped by one of his own. Hashtag make it make sense. And I thought this was a great example of what I've been trying to say for a while now. And that is that, see, here inside the white community, we don't see ourselves as our brother's keeper. Like, we can sit there and call out a demographic of nut jobs from within our community, whether it's the rainbow supremacist or if it's the Simon City Royal types. They're all trash. And we can call them out. Where for some reason, apparently in the black community, and my response was simple to this. Let me pull it back up. It was like, this is a great example of exactly what I'm talking about. For some reason, you guys all feel like that when we talk about one black person, that somehow we're talking about all black people. Not everybody, of course. But the ones that end up in my DMs definitely seem to think that they are their brother's keeper. Let me find my response here again. The second I cleaned, here we go. And my response was simple. It was just, I'm going to read it verbatim. I said, you small-minded idiot. You think it's just as simple as black and white. I have the ability to call out the nut jobs on our side where you all seem to think that if we talk crap about one type of or a single black person, then it means we're talking about all black people. And I'm not. And I've been real disappointed as I encounter, different black folks from different walks of life, how many all believe that regardless of how privileged of a life they've led, not having to grow up in a city like Jackson and deal with like what happened on Woody Drive with that 19-year-old kid getting killed yesterday, that somehow they feel like they're the defenders of these guys, like it's some kind of ghetto inferiority complex. Like they have this survivor's guilt or something because they didn't have to grow up in a hellhole like South Jackson. Meanwhile, I lived in South Jackson until 5 years ago. So don't discount my lived experience, bro. That's what y'all tell us, my lived experience. Well, my lived experience, and my two eyes tell me that there's a problem in somewhere like South Jackson. And I'm allowed to call it out, and I'm allowed to call out who the problem is, overwhelmingly. So that's my point. Either you understand it or you don't. I really don't care one way or another. Again, criticism is not racism. Pointing out facts is not facts aren't racist. Per capita isn't racist. It's not skewed to make any particular group look bad. It's the only way to explain a number of how violent people can be or unviolent. Let's check out some of your comments here in the live stream. I mean, this thing is churning and burning over here. We're just going to check the most recent one out. This one says, I was a stranger and you invited me in. Jesus, what you do to least among you, you do to me. Also, Jesus. Ooh, somebody said a happy pride. Gross. Slippery Moon 36 says, and I'm just randomly clicking on these things as they go here, so I do not proofread. This person says, the so-called conservatives, I'm sure this is going to be great. It says the so-called conservatives actually do like change and innovations. You could tell by the cell phones and cars they own, making them nothing but liberals without dictionaries, idiots. I don't know if I quite understand that. Let me read that one more. No, you know what? Never mind. I read it. Y'all can make up your own minds what you think out of it. The next one up says, there's only one race, human. Some of you aren't very good at this. Well, I can agree with that. Unfortunately, there's a couple groups that feel like they're different and they should be celebrated because of their difference. And I think that's the best way to explain this, right? There's a big group of people out there that feel like what makes them different from everybody else we're all different, right? But there's a particular group of people, particularly black, brown, and rainbow, that think their differences should be celebrated while nobody else's should be. First off, black and brown people were born black and brown. So we should not be celebrating that. You can be proud of that. You can be proud of your heritage, of your ethnicity, just like I can be. I mean, I'm very proud that my people came over here on the Mayflower and built this some gun. I'm very proud of that, of the hard work that my ancestors put in to build this empire that is America. And the struggles that they had to endure to build this empire, to colonize this MFR. No regrets, no apologies either, by the way. We do not apologize. Far too late for them anyway. So, no apologies. Proud colonizer here. Let's take a break. This is the Clay Edwards Show. If you're watching online, remember we do not play commercials during the break, so it is dead air. But we'll be back in 4 minutes. If you're on radio, rip the knob off, throw it out the window, call a friend, send a carrier pigeon, tell them to turn it on 103.9. If you're watching on the live stream, hit the share button, hit the like button, continue to drop the comments. Swing by the merch shop, buyfafo.com. Grab a shirt or a flag today. Fly it proudly. Just like the supremacy, the rainbow supremacy flies theirs proudly. Fly that FAFO right up under that American flag if you got a flagpole. Let them know what you stand for. Let them know not to F around on your property. That flag will tell them all they need to know. It's like a modern-day Smith & Wesson sticker or sign or flag or Glock, should I say. We'll be right back. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'll sit here and ramble on all morning. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show, 103.9 WYAB. Guys, get out to Grills of Mississippi today, tomorrow. Get stocked up with all your grilling and barbecuing supplies, seasonings, marinades. They got it all from tongs to smokers to propane-powered steak broilers. Did I say seasonings and marinades? They got them. And the great thing about Grills of Mississippi, I think they probably got roughly 500 different rubs, seasonings, marinades to choose from, and you can try each one before you buy. So sample each one on their sample counter. See if it works for you. See if it's too salty, too garlicky, too whatever-y, too spicy, or just right. And grab some today. They have all the hard-to-find boutique brands, locally owned brands, all that stuff. You got a favorite barbecue YouTuber? There's a good chance that Grills of Mississippi has their rub available there in stock today. They got all the Heath Ryle stuff and Fireman John's. These are people who win Memphis in May consistently. Best barbecue. Get out there today and check out everything they got to offer. If you got a pellet smoker, do not buy the pellets at the big box stores like Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's. Those pellets are made from wood in Utah. That's like barbecue sauce from New York City. You don't want barbecue sauce from New York City or picante. That is picante sauce from New York City. Wood from Utah, from the desert? No, sir. Their pellets is made from wood grown right here in this tropical environment of the southeastern United States of America. It burns up to 60, 70% longer, which means less ash, which means better flavor in your food, which means your pellet lasting longer before you have to replace the burner or igniter switch. Check them out today, grillsofms.com, or in person right there, Highway 51 North, Ridgeland, Mississippi, right down from Trace Station. 4th of July is what, next weekend? Sneaking up on us. Get over there this weekend at Grills, Mississippi. Get all your supplies for your big 4th of July barbecue, because there's a good chance that they could possibly run out. You know, everybody else is thinking the same thing. You ain't the only person grilling and chilling. So, hey, you don't feel like grilling? Did you know that Grills, Mississippi offers their Memphis in May award-winning ribs for purchase? That's right. Give them about 24 to 36-hour heads up. I wouldn't trust 24 hours, but if you'll call them today, you may be able to get some for tomorrow. But if you go ahead and put your order in for next weekend, you can definitely get some for next weekend. For the 4th, don't even bother grilling. Just let them do it for you. Maybe you live in apartments, can't grill, whatever the case may be. Your neighbors, your friends, your family, they don't have to know you didn't cook them. You can show up with the best ribs you've ever had and wink, wink, let them think you cooked them. Don't act like y'all ain't never done that before. Don't act like y'all hadn't gotten one of these ready-to-cook meals, these casseroles to go from somewhere, or a bucket of fried chicken from somewhere, poured it in your own aluminum pan and showed up with it with some foil over it like you cooked it. Raise your hand if you've done that before. All right, if you're listening on radio, my hand is raised. Grills in Mississippi. Check them out today. So, I know we were going to talk about this. Let's just do it. It really doesn't even interest me, but it was such a big story yesterday. Let's talk about it for just a second here, because it is a big W for MAGA, and I love to celebrate Big Daddy Trump's W's. It's a SCOTUS ruled in a 6-3 decision in Mullins versus Doe. Their concise, factual, and frankfurt, blah, 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 blah. Here's the deal. What they did is SCOTUS, in a 6-3 decision, clears the way for the administration to end temporary protected status for Haiti, for them Haitians. And It removes legal protections for roughly 340,000 Haitians plus 6,000 Syrians. These are people who came over here seeking asylum over the years. Well, that's over. Time for you to go back home. Are you too good for your home? Why won't you go to your home? Get in the hole. Go home. You've been here long enough. You know, we want our jobs back. We want our jobs back. You know, and you know who's going to benefit the most from this? You know who's going to benefit the most from these Haitians being gone? Black people. Black people. We're going to get these deadly Haitian gangs out of your communities. And your communities are going to get a little bit safer. And you can thank me for voting for Donald Trump. Next time you see somebody wearing a red MAGA hat, instead of acting an ass, why don't you walk up and shake their hands and tell them, thank you, MAGA. You made my community safer. I got a job from a Haitian because they had to go back home. Thank you, MAGA. Also, the core of the ruling was this, it's that there's going to be no more judicial blocks. The court ruled that the 1990 Temporary Protection Status, the TPS law, broadly bars courts from reviewing the Homeland Security Secretary's decision to terminate the program. Lower courts were overstepping. SCOTUS told them to stand down. Temporary actually means temporary. Haiti's temporary protected status after the 2010 earthquake. It's been extended for 15 plus years. The Trump administration reviewed conditions and they chose to end it. And now the Supreme Court says the executive branch has that authority. So look, we're going to reject the racism angle. Critics claim that ending TPS for Haiti was racially motivated. The majority said no. The statements were policy-based, not overt racial discrimination. This was about country conditions and national interests. As far as restoring sovereignty, immigration policy belongs to the president and Congress, not activist judges or endless litigation. This ruling reins in judicial overreach on a major scale. That has got to be one of the things that this administration does with SCOTUS before it ends in 28 is that, or January 29, whenever it is, January 20th or 29? Before Trump rides off into the sunset, assuming he does, and we don't get to vote for him a fourth time for a third term, which I'm still holding out hope for, what needs to be done is SCOTUS needs to get a handle on the judiciary and these activist judges and lower courts interfering in the executive branch's decisions. They really do. Because it always only seems to benefit liberal administrations and negatively affect conservative administrations. It says TPS holders lose work authorization and deportation protection. They can now be placed in a removal proceedings and sent back to Haiti if they have no other legal basis to stay. And there's a lot of information here. If you got an AI and you want to find out and peel this onion back a little deeper, the question I asked to get all of the details was just simply write me some quick bullet points so I can discuss Trump's big SCOTUS victory to send Haitians back to Haiti. Now, that's your prompt for Chat GPT or Grok or whichever Chat GPT or whichever AI bot you use is what I'm trying to say. And you should be able to figure it all out. Again, this is all what I voted for. 100% what I voted for. And hell yeah, I'm an American. You should all be celebrating when we get to send people back to where they came from that aren't legal, sovereign, or naturalized U.S. citizens. It's just that simple. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We're going to ride. Our next segment's our last full segment of the day, of the week. We're going to dive off into your comments on the Mazda Jackson live stream, as well as your text on the Ellis Autoplex text line. That number is 769-241-1944. We may even open up the phone lines for one segment when we get back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. Here, live, 103.9 WYAB. We're powered by that free testosterone screening over at Live Better Men's Health and Wellness in Gluckstadt. Text Clay to 601-633-9017 for your free screening today. This segment brought to you by my good friends over at Cowden Electric. If you need an emergency generator for your home, and after these storms that have been coming through here, I think we all need an emergency generator. I think they should just become mandatory on homes at this point, on new homes built. Everyone must have an emergency generator. Cowden Electric's got you covered. They can come out today. Well, not today, but they can come out and take a look at your house, see how big it is, look at your breaker box, figure out what size you need, how much money you need to spend to get it all installed, what your expectations are. Maybe you don't need to do a full generator. Maybe you just want to get a small generator, and you want to get your breaker box set up where you can plug it in to just a couple breakers. They can do that too, and you can use a portable generator. I was watching some YouTube videos when I was working out the other night about these portable generators that are made kind of specifically for your home, where you don't have to buy the full generators. And I was really, really impressed, but you still got to get the work done in your breaker box to plug these things up properly. So you're not sending any power back through. Like, you got to have the power to your house cut off, so when the power gets cut back on, it doesn't push power back through the feed and potentially kill somebody down line that's working. Anyway, Marty can take care of all that for you. You don't have to worry yourself with it. CowdenElectric.com. That's COWDEN. But hey, look, they do more than just generators. That's what we want you to get. That's what they're paying for us to talk about. But hey, they also handle all your service calls. You need to get a ceiling fan, need some outdoor lighting. You're doing an expansion on the home, renovations, building a new home, remodels. They can do it all. Cowden Electric. They're located in Brandon, but obviously you ain't coming to them. They're coming to you. No matter where you're at in the state, CowdenElectric.com. Been in business for over 50 years. And I grew up with Marty, known him since I was 14 years old. Been friends with him my entire adult life from 14 and up. We used to ride up and down McDowell Road listening to some of that culture rock rap music that I spoke of. We had Toyota lowriders. He had a snug top on his with, I think, 415s in the back. Playing that, cruising down the street real slow. What the heck are they yelling? Marrero. The memories. Key memory unlocked. Is that what the kids say? Check them out, man. I'm co-signing on Marty. Cowden Electric. Let's see here. Also, real quick, I accidentally mentioned it earlier, but let me purposely mention it now. Martin's, Livingston or Martin's downtown today, the fried chicken is the lunch special. So most places have great fried fish on Fridays. If you want something a little different, fish ain't your jam. Martin's, both locations, it's award-winning fried chicken. And, of course, the full menu is available. Don't meet me there. Beat me there. Check out Martin's Downtown JXN or martinslivingston.com. Follow their live music listings. All right. Now, I said that we were going to read the comments, but there is one other story that I want to hit real quick. Hold on. The video's already up, so we might as well hit this one too. What in the hell are they trying to do to Caitlin Clark in the WNBA? If you're watching on the live stream right now, you see this video. This black woman is literally, as liberals love to say, if you're new here, I like to emphasize the word literally because Democrats always say literally Hitler. She's literally trying to choke the life out of poor Caitlin Clark here. I mean, is it because Caitlin's not a certified flag-carrying, card-carrying member of the Rainbow Supremacy? I mean, what in the world is going on here? I mean, she's bent the knee. She's done everything she can do. She saved the league, got y'all private planes, got y'all a pay raise, all this stuff that for 20-plus years you were not able to do by yourself. Lesbian black women, WNBA players. Y'all should be so thankful for this woman and the eyeballs she brought to y'all's crappy league that nobody watches. Nobody would know who anybody in that league was if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark. Shout out to Sophie Cunningham, by the way. I am an official card-carrying member of the Sophie Cunningham fan club, but I wouldn't know about Sophie if it wasn't for Caitlin. I mean, they are what? Talk about trying to kill the golden goose. I mean, let's look at this. I mean, she was so excited. I mean, she should have charges pressed on her, like the DA in whatever city this was in, Indiana or Phoenix or wherever, should be filing aggravated assault charges on this black woman. She got bigger muscles than I do. Barely, but I mean, she's swole, son. Stop the violence. I tell you, stop the violence. There was another one I wanted to hit. Have y'all seen the FAFO preacher? The guy down there at, I think, church is down in Baton Rouge, maybe. He went across the street and whooped that man's ass across the street from the church. And then they arrest the preacher? That guy had been harassing his flock, had threatened to rape, murder, and kill his family when he was out of town. I ain't been inside a church for a service in a while. I've been watching on the internet for the last couple of years. But I tell you what, I'm about ready to go down to church in Baton Rouge, Louisiana one Sunday and become a member of this flock. Because this guy is right up Clay Edwards' alley. As a matter of fact, let's see if we can find a video of this guy. Well, you know what? We got to be careful playing fight videos on the live stream because they will give you a strike on Facebook and YouTube for that, and I get in trouble all the time. That's why I don't share fight videos anymore. It's because my account always gets in trouble, but nobody else's does. Let's see. Preacher arrested for assault. It's not the fight video I want to play. It's his return to the church. What was his name? Pastor Tony Spell of Life Tabernacle Church was working on a church bus when the neighbor's son started shouting at him. Yeah, but he said, Tony, I'm going to rape your wife. I'm going to rape all of your grandchildren. And he said, the next time you go out of town, I'm going to kill them. And what the F are you going to do about it? Well, he showed him exactly what the F he was going to do about it. Says the neighbors, the Sherwin family, claims Spell is not telling the truth, but during a press conference, Spell was backed up by members of his church who say they made multiple complaints about the Sherwin family to police. Spell's attorney says the Sherwin family has a large industrial-scale camera that could see from across the street all the way into the pulpit. Spell was hit with multiple misdemeanors, summonses in 2020 during the COVID lockdowns when he refused to close his church. Say no more, fam. Say no more. He beat a liberal nutjob's ass, and they're still mad about him having church during COVID. I hope this gets thrown out. It says, the Central Police are friends with these folks across the street. When Pastor Spell was being surveilled 24/7, it was with the help of the man across the street, Spell's lawyer said. The pastor was reportedly arrested and booked for second-degree battery. Does this man have a GoFundMe set up? How much time I got left? We got a few minutes left. Hold on a second. I want to play what the pastor said outside the jail, or what his little mini press conference he did. Give me 1 second. I'm sharing the screen here. it's an FAFO Friday on the Clay Edwards Show, and this is textbook FAFO right here. And we got to get one FAFO in, other than just the Simon C. Royal trash. We turn the volume up. Everything shit. All right, here we go.
When you threaten to rape my wife, when you threaten to rape my grandchildren, and the next time you leave, go out of town, I'm going to kill every one of them. As a man, as a father, and as a pastor, I can't allow that.
Me either, Pastor. Me either. I'm here for it, son. I'm here for it. There was another video of him, like he went back to his flock and admitted what he did, which obviously there ain't no denying what he did. Well, either way, we need more Tony Spells leading our churches than some of the effeminate males that are currently leading a lot of them. These non-denominational churches, the pastor up there in his Jordans. Look, I'm a connoisseur of Jordans myself. Y'all might not know that. But I don't want to walk into church and see my pastor on stage in his Jordans. I don't want to do it. I want hellfire and brimstone. I don't want my pastor to tell me everything's going to be okay. I want him to tell me, Clay, if you don't change, you're going to hell. Crap, I better change. Let's take a break, come back, land the plane for the week. Online, don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. All right. I don't have anything else to add to that, so I'm going to sign on off, man. Thank you all. Shout out to the mods. Shout out to everybody. Justin, we're going to be seeing you here at about 11 o'clock if you're working today. So bringing a crew to visit you. Y'all stay blessed. Don't FA unless you want to FO. And swing by the merch shop. Buy something. Here, scan a QR code right now. There's our top selling shirt in the G.I. Joe logo style. Scan that with your phone real quick. Or I keep talking about the FAFO flags. I got a bunch of them in stock. It's boat season. Fly the FAFO flag from the back of your boat. Scan that QR code there. And if you can't remember the QR code, if I sign off before you get it, just go to buyfafo.com. That's buyfafo.com or clayedwardsshow.com and hit the merch link at the top. And every little bit is much appreciated. I run specials all the time too. So once you buy one thing, you'll get an email whenever we do short-term discounts. Y'all stay blessed. It's been a fun time. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. As we land the plane for the week, guys, I just want to continue to just tell you how much I appreciate you all, how grateful I am for the opportunity that you tune in every day, or maybe today's the first time you've tuned in and you listen to what we got to say here. Just couldn't imagine doing anything else than what I get to do every day. The old saying, if you do what you love, you don't work a day in your life. Well, if that's true, I haven't worked a day in almost 6 years. Well, that's not true because I had a full-time job while I was doing this. But for the last 3 years almost, I haven't worked a day since I've been doing this full-time. Even though I work 18, 19 hours a day, I only sleep about 5 hours a night, and I literally work from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep doing this, whether it's preparing for this show or creating content for social media. I live it, I breathe it, and I get to do that because of you all. I just would never want to miss an opportunity to say thank you. Y'all stay tuned in to WYAB. You got the Blues and Arts Hour coming up next with Chris Davis, followed by Andrew Gosser, then Lindsey Beckham, and then Kim Wade bringing us home for the Belt Buckle Crawl, 4 to 6. I will see y'all Monday. Peace.